Greetings everyone, I'm Mar. Once again, this is my opinion. As you can tell from the title, I'm continuing my trek through the episodes of Everybody Loves Raymond. We're now on episode 15 of season 5, Super Bowl. Very timely one because this one actually aired one day after Super Bowl 35. So they knew what they were doing when they placed this one at this point in this show. Nice little way to get people to tune in for your show. Even though by this point in the series, people were watching the show. Before I get too far into this video, just a reminder, if you want to support the channel, both the Patreon and PayPal links are down below. If you want to continuously support the channel, you can go the Patreon route. You'll gain access to videos early, including this video series. And you'll also be able to suggest topics for future videos, whether they be reviews like movies like Volcano or My Cousin Vinny, or you might even be able to give me a topic such as what happened to blue-collar workers in cinema. And if you pick a higher tier, you can also request commentaries. If you just want to do a one-off, go the PayPal route. Now, Super Bowl. This is an episode I did not see until it actually was released on DVD. I don't know why. I don't know if I just never caught it in syndication or if they didn't have it in syndication when I was watching on Channel 5. But when I watched it, this one I did like. And I think part of the reason is because Ray himself actually had a hand in the teleplay, along with Mike Royce, who was the author of The Author. So there's a little bit of that genuine feeling to Ray, how he reacts to the other characters, and his solution at the end. I mean, it makes him look like an idiot, but there is that genuine feeling, and since Ray's the writer, it's like, oh yeah. Now, the plot is Ray being a sports writer. You would think, oh, he's probably covered the Super Bowl before. Yeah, but he's never actually been. And now, as he puts it himself, he's about to go to the best place a man can go. Very debatable. It depends on what you like. Like me, I'm not really a sports guy, but I'm a wrestling guy. So for me, that would be either going to the Tokyo Dome to see a Wrestle Kingdom show or going to see a WrestleMania. And of course also seeing a event in Madison Square Garden. But those are the big three for a wrestling fan. But for someone like Ray who's a sports fan, it would be the Super Bowl. And since he's never been, now he gets to go. And he's super excited about it. And Gianni's looking at him like, what's going on? The Super Bowl! And he offers Gianni the chance to come with him because he has a spare ticket. Now the reaction of everyone around him on this revelation makes sense. Gianni's all excited, so much so he leaves, he's got to go get ready. Everyone else reacting how you'd expect. Robert and Frank are giving him this look. Frank holding a fork. And they're really giving him the death glare, like, you know that ticket should belong to one of us. And Frank really, most of all, because he's like, I'm the one who got you into sports and this is the thanks I get. I know what's going to be on my tombstone now. My son went to the Super Bowl and now I'm dead. And of course Marie is trying her usual stuff. Raymond, you got to get more tickets. And of course I can't do that. What sells this from her perspective is the fact she picks up the phone. I'm sorry I'm laughing at this, but just listen to this. She picks up the phone and is like, what's the number of the Super Bowl? You see why? It's such a Marie reaction, and it's so genuine that you just can't help but laugh at it. It's like, well, you think you're going to be able to dial 1-900 Super Bowl and they're going to give you 2 more tickets? If this year has shown, those Super Bowl tickets can cost a pretty penny. I mean, they got up into the thousands, but again, that was also the first big event like that at that stadium, so I can see why. Which is why, for when they actually do a WrestleMania, I'm going to have to really jump on it and get those tickets. You're going to have to snipe them really quick. I mean, even if I'm up in the nosebleeds, it's like I'm at WrestleMania. After they leave, Ray has a conversation with Debra, and it turns out Debra wanted to go too. Maybe not for the game, but more for the togetherness. Which, I've never been married, but I have been in relationships, and I get. I mean, I have gone to a wrestling event with someone I was dating before. I've gone to conventions with someone I've been dating before, and even if it's not fully their thing, or at least part of what you want to see is not fully their thing, and what they want to see is not your thing, that doesn't matter. It's the togetherness of the situation. It's the fact that you are doing something together and you're both having fun. And that's what Debra was looking forward to with this, and then Ray gave it to Gianni. And she does a little thing that you could tell she's learning from Marie. where she says, I mean, it's not too bad, but you could tell she's like, oh, she's guilting Ray a little bit. But she's not going to put the full thing on like Marie would because, yeah, you told your friend you're going to take him, so go with him. And, of course, Ray's defense is like, this is a guy trip. And he continues that defense. But the moment they get to the hotel and check in, Ray sees how wrong he is, at least in this situation, because every other sports writer brought their wife, and he's the only one that brought a buddy. So he decides to send for Debra. She shows up. They're having fun. She's in the mood. She had some alcohol on the plane, and yes, I did choose that wording intentionally because they do have some fun off screen, obviously. Then the next day is where things start to go downhill because we find out that while the other sports writers brought their wives, how the things go is that during the day, the husbands are going to go off do their stuff, work-related and otherwise, including golf, and the wives all take care of each other and all hang out. And that's where Debra doesn't like it. As she puts it, I get to go off to wife daycare, and then when you come back home, I get to be your Super Bowl whore. Which I get she's mad at the fact that she got kind of duped from her perspective. It's like, when do we hang out? But that last one is like, hey, you're the one that had the wine and all that, so there's that, but you can kind of see why she says that, because she figured, other than when Ray's going to the game or doing his work-related stuff and maybe hanging out with Gianni a little bit, it's going to be them having fun together. And then seeing everyone else like that, that's partially Ray's fault because he didn't check to see what their itinerary was going to be. Or he assumed Debra would be down with it, which means he half heard what she said at the beginning of the episode but didn't actively digest it. Seems to be an issue with Ray we see off and on and out throughout this show. And of course, it leads to him overreacting. He tries to fix the problem with a solution that takes things to the nth degree. And you know what that is? He takes the tickets and he rips them up and then throws them out. And then Debra calls him an idiot on it because, why would you do that? I did not want this. This is not what I wanted. You wanted to be together. This is not what I meant. And Debra gives off a good line here, which Patricia Heaton sells beautifully. Now forever, I'm going to be the one that made you throw away your Super Bowl tickets. And they finally have a heart-to-heart, calm down, and they get over this little hurdle. But now, of course, the quandary is now they can't go to the Super Bowl, and the big thing is now you got to tell Gianni because you ripped up his ticket too. Which that's the thing I don't get about this, Ray. It's like, why'd you rip up both of them? You technically only had a claim to one. So in the final scene when they're watching the Super Bowl on TV in the hotel room, the look Gianni gives them, very warranted. And it's a pretty fun way to end the episode. And there's really no other way you could end the episode once Ray ripped up the tickets. And it's another Ray and Debra fights and makeup-centric episode. And it's a fight you could see husbands and wives really doing, especially when it comes to sports and being together. And I mean actually spending time together when they're not going to do the thing that they originally went there for, like the in-between moments of a vacation. We've seen that off and on a couple times, like when they went to the bed and breakfast, so it touches on that again. Now, there is a deleted scene on the DVD. It's you can kind of see in the final episode where it would go in, but you can also see why for timing they cut it out. And that is Ray and Gianni checking at the hotel and they celebrate being at the Super Bowl. Now, given how crazy they go throughout the final episode, you can see why they cut this out, because it doesn't really add a whole lot to the episode. It's just there, so unlike other deleted scenes. And then the look that Gianni gives Ray at the end, I don't know if it's in the take that they used and then they extended it, or it's a different take. But Ray extends his arm and Gianni gets in and cuddles in. That's totally a Ray Romano ad-lib to throw in for the audience to laugh at. And a couple episodes time we'll get my favorite one when it comes to that, which is one thing I always love thinking of when it comes to that episode. But we'll get to that episode when we get to it. There's not really much else to talk about this one. I mean, not really a sports guy, so not really much football related to comment on, especially with that Super Bowl, because like I said, I don't watch sports. But overall, fun episode, nice timing, especially since it aired the night after the Super Bowl. Kind of wish I'd gotten to this episode around the time of the Super Bowl this year, but heck, I would have had to have started doing these review series earlier in the year than when I did, which is a little aside. As of the day I'm recording this episode, it has been 2 years since I started doing this review series, so happy second anniversary to the Everybody Loves Raymond reviews. And based on the speed in which I'm doing these, and another year and a half, maybe a little less if there's a couple weeks where I upload 2, which this coming week I'm actually thinking of doing that. Well, by that point, should be done with it. And I've started some other series reviews as well. I mean, I'm doing the Star Trek one still, but I'm not, of course, going to do every single episode of Star Trek. At least not in a row like this. That'd take way too long. And besides that, steal a little bit of thunder from Lore Runner. Anyway, that's about all I have to say about this one. Next one, going to be one of my favorite episodes of the whole season. And it was the one that actually had some Emmy love. So I'm not alone. Till next time, guys.